to the heartbeat of independent music. This is Iconix Radio, where we bring you the video shaping tomorrow's sound and today's artists. I am your host, Anthony Johnson, Mr. Iconix, and we have a very special guest today on our Zoom interview. She's a powerhouse, a singer, songwriter, producer, mom, great overall, just awesome person. We have Miss Anna Nicholson. How are you doing today?
Oh my God, I need to put you in my pocket and carry that introduction around everywhere I go. I'm
You
doing
you
great.
can have it. I will give it to you so they know Miss Anna is an awesome person. So we're glad to have you here at Iconix Radio, and we're glad to have you to be part of the Iconix music family.
Oh, I'm so
So,
happy to be here. Thank you.
oh yes. So we're about to get into this great interview. So tell us about your journey and what inspires you to making music.
I don't know what inspires me to making music. You know, I started songwriting when I was in my mid-teens. I started, when I was 12 writing poetry and then that evolved. I used to write, post journal entries and document all the funny things people were saying. And I always wanted to get into script writing. But then as a teen, I started to feel angst. Do you know that feeling, John? You know when you've got that angst as a teen? So I had to
Yes.
channel that and it became storytelling through song, which kind of is story selling. But yeah, and it was heavy metal music actually that really inspired
Really?
me at the time. And I was writing a lot of that kind of vibe, and not anything else I wouldn't pay attention to because I was just very judgmental. I was a little kind of goth queen into Queensryche and all these other heavy bands. But then, I got busy with university, career, kids, and then I had a midlife crisis, and that's
Oh,
when I came back. And so, what inspired me when, I guess I started again 7 years ago, um, was stress. So, stress
wait,
was very inspiring. That's what I found as a single mother with no time to myself. And,
right.
I just so stressed. And I found a lot of my voice just through channeling, and I was channeling my own stories, but then I just started channeling everything, and it was unstoppable. So here I am.
That's also, well, see, we know that we say music is a stress reliever, and especially if you're writing it, you can put out your stories and get out what's in your mind to say, hey, I'm dealing with this, and put it on pen, paper in the
Oh,
studio so people can say, hmm, I'm going through this a little bit myself too. And you can
yeah.
be an inspiration to those folks that listen to your music.
I hope so, and it's funny you say that. And everybody writes differently. And I know there are those that write really pretty lyrics or very happy songs. And sometimes there aren't very many lyrics at all because it's really all just music with a few little words for accents. But I tend to write mm, more serious stuff. And I've written a lot about addiction and recovery. And, there's a
Awesome.
few things about child abuse and a song called Quarantine about being an old age person in an age home during the pandemic and actually
Oh,
hoping
yes.
you would die because your alternative living situation was so grim. I just
Right.
I just write stories that I really hope people will read and think and it derives some kind of meaning for them.
Yeah, see, that's what we do as musicians, as writers. We put out our heart. We put our heart to pen. We put our heart to say, maybe if we can help one person or one person enjoys this song, we have did our job. So
Absolutely.
understanding that. Now, who is your biggest music influences when you was growing up?
Oh my God. So it was so varied, right? I mean, there was ABBA. Come on. Who didn't
Yes.
know ABBA at the time, right? And musically they were so incredibly talented. And I also listened to a bit of Genesis and because
Mm.
not really I related to them much, but everybody was listening to them, so I jumped on that bandwagon. But really, I loved Heart. I love the harmonies of Heart. I love that they were, females doing the lead thing and doing the rock
Right.
thing. And, Nancy was so great on the guitar, and Anne's voice was just so incredible. So Heart was a big influencer. And then, just for that, again, that release of music and lyric that was more distressing. I liked Queensryche. I liked Alice in Chains. I liked
Ooh,
my roommate at the time in university was an artist, and so he painted to Motorhead, right? So we would
wow. You really had a full scope
so
of
it's all over
music.
for sure. But but I also loved Chaka Khan, and I loved Cyndi
Yeah,
Lauper. I loved dancing around on that dance floor, and so
right.
we had all. It was just everything, and now I don't judge what comes to me, what comes through me anymore. And so what I'm writing now is multi-genre, where I never would have ventured to that extent as a teen because I was very judgmental. Things that weren't cool, I didn't want to be a part of. But
Right.
now it's all music, and it's all so important in different ways. And yeah, so I'm writing different genres.
Oh, that's obviously because in music is a universal language. Your music can affect people in any part of the world. Like I have seen videos like when you seen Michael Jackson go overseas, go over to Europe. They may not even be able to speak English, but they know those words to those songs. So,
Those songs.
music
Yeah,
is universal to where what you write, people can connect with it. It is almost like it's the
it's
heart of people,
art.
and then in this day and time with social media and the internet, you have to write multi-genre
Do you think?
because you have that opportunity too because you can reach so many people in so less of little time.
And it's a completely different creative process. And so far I've worked with two different producers. So I did my Canadiana album, which is 5 songs, and it's Americana, alternative country with
Uh-huh.
with a bit of an edge. It's a bit rockier than typical country. And I did that with Bruce Springsteen in mind when I was,
Oh,
thinking of one of the songs in particular that I wrote, and I woke up in the middle of the night in a panic, thinking, "Oh my God, that's one of Bruce's songs. I've copied one of Bruce's songs." And I woke up and I had to run over and download his material to listen to that from Born in the USA album from many years ago.
right.
Thank God it didn't sound like that at all. So I was good, but I was panicked for a moment. And so when I was looking at the album cover and the art for that, I thought I'm going to emulate what he did for the Born in the USA. So I've got a butt with a Canadian flag in the background, and I called it
Re-
Canadiana, and I've got that whole theme going on. But so for that genre, I have one producer, and
Okay.
and I hired a singer for that one because she's Canadian, but she lived in Nashville and she recorded in Nashville. She still does, and her voice was perfect for that. So I did that project with one producer, and now for the other multi-genre element, I've got another producer I'm working with who's actually mixed some work for Shakira and J-Lo, which is kind of cool.
Wow.
He lived in Toronto. He lived in the Caribbean islands. He lived in Florida, Miami. He was mixing for Sony down there. So I'm blessed
Wow.
to have him. So that material, which is coming out, which I still have to package for you, I literally just got those masters a few days ago.
All
That's
right.
a totally different sound with him. So the process is different. Every time you sit with the ideas are different, the sounds are different. So it's limitless. It's so much fun.
Right. And see that's the thing with music, as even as being a producer myself, you get to work with many different artists and many different minds that sometimes you have to say, okay, let me put down my R&B. Okay, let me pick up my pop. Let me pick up my country, Americana. So that's what it is when two people or multi people come together working on a record. That's how you get great hits.
It's fun. And then I had this really crazy idea. I work on LinkedIn a lot
Uh-huh.
because I like it there, right? I mean, look at me. I'm not a spring chicken anymore. And so, just doing the whole band thing and playing in bars, that's not me anymore. instead of camping, I want to be in a hotel, that kind of thing. So
That's right.
so I work with LinkedIn because I just network differently with people, and I found this guy, and he was promoting his own music, and he's from the UK, and his name was Colin Whitaker, and he's so quirky and eclectic, and he kind of reminds me of the lead singer from Talking Heads mixed in with the Cars a little bit. But the sound is very different. It's like ska, country, jazz,
Uh-huh.
fusion. It's very bizarre stuff, but he's from England.
Wow.
So I reached out to him because I thought his material just kind of stood out. And we started talking, and I had a song that I wrote that didn't suit anything else I was doing, but for some reason I thought he could do it. And he was willing to
Wow.
do it. And he did. And at first they were doing it as a joke, just to say, hey, yeah, we did your song here, take it, have fun. But then they started to really get into it, and they created this really amazing, unique piece of art. And it's called High Horse, the anthem of my a cappella song, High Horse. And he's actually fronting it and singing it with his British accent. And it's the weirdest piece of music, but they've got flutes in it and this crazy track, and it's so much fun. Yeah. So you can meet anybody anywhere. And
Right.
once you get into collaborating, sky's the limit. It's amazing. It's so much fun.
Right. And see that's the awesome part. So as a woman in the industry, what are some of the challenges you face that you have overcome in the music industry?
Well, there's so many. Okay, so why don't we start with the fact that, well, I'm not your typical musician to begin with, right?
Uh-huh.
I don't, and I had a hard time even accepting the fact that I'm a musician because I don't play an instrument. I can't read music. I don't know music theory. I can't say, oh yeah, change the key to whatever. I don't even know what whatever would be, and I wouldn't know what that sounds like. Like I don't speak the lingua. I don't operate that way at all. So how music comes to me is I have the melody in my head, and then I kind of get into a groove and a beat and a rhythm, and then I get the mood because
Mm.
it's a mood for me, right? And then I build the lyrics around the mood. So it's a cappella, and I'm not a great singer. So a cappella without a great voice is a tough sell.
Right. Right.
But
Well,
that's
see,
that's what I
wow.
got. So that's my first challenge, is convincing people that I'm a musician, and that they should listen to my stuff and work with me, right? So that's
Right.
my biggest challenge, is that I don't fit the mold, and I'm coming at it very differently. The second challenge is the fact that I'm much older. I'm coming back at this, right? And I'm like past midlife, and a female, right? Like a lot of men can come back, but they judge women differently,
Right.
when you're coming back into the scene. And often they're not interested in anybody that is coming in unless you're 20 years old, and labels can shape and mold you and do whatever. But the beauty about indie is that you can be whoever you want to be, and come at it however you want to come at it. And I'll have to take the hits on that, but I hope that I'm also, clearing the path for many others that are afraid to
Mm.
come forward, at this stage in their lives. And I'm thinking this is going to be the best part of our lives, because now all of our obligations are kind of done, and hopefully you've got the time to focus on yourself. I'm not quite there yet, as you can tell, but anyway, I'm getting there. But that's another challenge, right? Is getting people over the notion that I'm too old to be here. It's like, age is how you feel. So
That's right.
that's
That's
another.
right.
Um,
Be-
and I
Wow.
guess, and the third thing I would just throw in there is I'm not necessarily the performing artist. Um, we'll talk about that perhaps a little later on, but again, I'm coming at it differently. And I started as a songwriter. I just wanted to write songs because I knew I didn't have a strong voice, but I knew I had really amazing songs.
Hmm.
In my head, I thought, okay, I'm going to write songs for other people. But by the time any other people are interested in hearing what I have to say, I don't know when that's going to be. So in the meantime, I have to sing these songs because who else is going to sing them? And so I'm a recording artist as opposed to the performing artist. So right now again a different angle. So it's all these different challenges. Everything is different. And I don't know, I hope that with all my differences, people will still like it.
Oh yeah, they're gonna like it, and definitely you're gonna be premiered here on Iconix Radio. This is why we set up this platform because we want everybody, to be put out because we know what it takes to you sacrifice, you put money, your time, and you have to deal with family, your children. You have so much you have to work. So like, the 20-year-olds or the 19-year-old don't have no cares in the world and then they just I'm going to do music, I'm going to do music. But with us we have to say, okay, now I'm going to put 4 hours here, I got to take care of this and
My God.
do everything. But that's the point of being independent, to where you can control your destiny,
Yeah,
because you want to be able to say, you know what, I want to do this. I want to do it my way, because labels may say I'm older, but not here on Iconics. And then listen, people love music everywhere.
everywhere. Yeah.
Everywhere, and it's really not an age on it now. If you're out there, banging your heads and doing the heavy metal, we gonna be like, all right, Anna, you done went back in the rock club. But
I know.
that's the fun part of doing music. And so now where are you from? I know you said is it Canada or what part of Canada?
Can't you tell my accent? I'm
Right.
working hard on my accent. No, and I love your accent. I am from Canada. I'm 3 hours, so this is another challenge that I have. I'm 3 hours from Toronto. So I'm in a remote community. We've got, in my little town, 3,000 people. In the adjacent town, there's about eight. So in total, maybe, 15,000, and we're growing. Woohoo!
Wow,
But we're
right.
far, right? And so there's not every town is half hour away. Every town's about the same population, and there aren't a lot of people out here doing what I connect with, and so I have to go far to find people, but it's exciting, right? And again, with the internet, you can go anywhere. Like my friend Colin in the UK, you can just
That's
meet
right.
anybody anywhere and do anything. So, but yeah, Canada. And we're really pushing Canadian content right now because of the whole tariff conversation that we won't talk
Oh, yes, we're not going to even get into
about.
that, but we do understand. But and then see, I'm actually from Detroit, Michigan, so we would cross and go over to Windsor.
For sure. Yeah, I love
We
Detroit.
can cross the bridge or go under the tunnel. I ain't really like going under the tunnel because we was going under the ocean.
Yeah.
But to get over there, so I understand. So we have our Canadian artists, and then even on a couple weeks ago, we interviewed Dale Penner.
Okay.
Yes, and he's from Canada.
That's
So
awesome.
he's a big, he did a Nickelback, he did a whole lot engineered. So, we're here at Iconics, we are for the world and not just for America.
That's
So,
awesome.
we definitely like having you and having your music on Iconics Radio. So now we have a question.
Okay.
You told us about some of the songs you write. Do you feel your music has a message? If so, what do you hope for your listeners to take away?
You know what? As grim as most of my songs may sound, in terms of, some of the subject may be harder or a little more solemn or a little more introspective. Um, they're all hopeful though. In the end, there's always a sense of overcoming, and that's what I hope that they would
Mm,
take away. The dance songs obviously are a little lighter in flavor, but some of the rock songs and other songs that I've been working out, they've the words the you know Canadiana, that album, the very first song is titled Walking Wounded, and it's about a woman who has been in an abusive relationship. Not physically abusive, though, mentally abusive, which is a very different spin.
Right.
She goes through all these notions, but it's at the end of the song she really discovers what is going on, and there's that realization, and there's that sense of, wow, okay, now I have clarity, now I know what I can do, now I can move forward. Every song, I hope, is going to end with some kind of sense of hope, positivity, overcoming, and that's always what I want people to take away, is to always know that it never ends in that state, and you can always move forward and propel forward, because it's going to launch you. All negativity just launches you forward into something great. That's what I hope.
Oh wow, that is awesome, Anna. That is wow, that is great. Get me goosebumps all over. Like we're so ready to put that music out so the people can just listen and enjoy. So, if you had to describe your music in one word, what would that one word be?
Brave.
Oh, that's awesome.
It would be brave, just the fact that I'm doing this, and because every song's going to sound different. So every genre is going to be a different thing. So just to talk about one word to wrap it all up, I would just say that, what I'm attempting here is brave, and what I'm trying to say in some songs is very brave. So I'll go with that.
Oh, that's awesome. And then, I know people are probably looking on this interview and seeing what does that say under you? You're part of what musician group that you met us when we was doing with Jerry, and what is the name of the music group that you're in? Because if I don't, Jerry gonna get me.
Yeah, for sure. And he should, and he'd get me too. But that's the Entre Musicians. And
That's right.
it's a fantastic, fantastic support group of incredibly talented, creative people from all around the world. And we get together.
Mhm.
The great thing about us is that we are independent artists, and we are over 50. That's kind of the niche play that he's got, is he's bringing together people, like a whole community of musicians that have a common thread. And the common denominator is that we are creators, and we are just restarting, and we're giving it our best shot now. And we're doing it individually, and we're doing it collectively, and it's just such a kick-ass organization. And Jerry is amazing, and he leads it with weekly calls and conversations,
Yes.
friendships, and yeah, it's fantastic. The Entre Musician, yeah.
Yes, because we did an interview on the Entre Musician, and then we just did an interview for Jerry and Danny, and his interview. He's going to be playing his interview on your guys' platform, and we're going to be playing our interview on our platform.
That's
But
fantastic.
we got to be a part, and then you guys are coming in hot on Iconics Radio because we got almost like five artists that's playing on Iconics Radio from the Entre Musician. So, and we love that, like with our good friend Danny Jones. And then, even when I was on it, and I was just like, wow, it's no limit to, because I know you have to be over 50,
Yeah.
but the thing is, it's no limit to the creativity of music and to have so many different types of music and different type of people. Like I think we have Daryl Mooney, he's jazz. We got Jerry Sound Doctrine. Danny, they're presenting artists. Miss Anna is presenting her music, and it was like, wow, this platform that we have, we want to offer it to musicians that's working. It's no age to music. Quincy Jones was still doing music into his 80s. I think he was 90 when he just passed away. You look at the Rolling Stones, they're still on stage. It's just so many artists that you like, they never stop what they love.
No, they don't. And you know what? And for me, it was a bucket list thing. The biggest thing for me was, I mean, I needed the outlet because it was a very stressful time, and I needed the creative outlet. And it's not even that I thought about it. It just came to me and took me over. Inspiration just kind of started channeling through me, and was coming so at such a force. It was such a force. and I felt like I needed to do it. That was one thing, but it's a bucket list at my age. If I didn't do it, I would probably end up regretting, resenting, being depressed, like all that stuff. And that's no way to go out. So
That's right.
gotta
That's right.
control and make the most of it. Yeah.
That's awesome because I forgot who was it was an artist that said if you go to the cemetery, it's a lot of goals and aspirations that's still there because people didn't push it out during their time when they was here. If
Right.
it's one copy to a million copies,
Yeah.
put out your heart, put
Yeah.
out your music. So now, where can people find you to say, I want to listen to Anna Nicholson's music? Where can they find you?
So because I haven't been great at optimizing and consolidating all of my internet presence, um, if you searched under my label, which is indiangypsymusic.com,
Mhm.
you will find a whole suite of a cappella material, which I am going through and cherry picking and actually producing now full out. So the produced songs can be found on YouTube, but they're on every major streaming platform. It's on Apple, it's on Spotify, it's on SoundCloud. It's like, so the songs, um, my acapella is on my website, indiangypsymusic.com, and SoundCloud, Apple, mainstream. If you search for Indian music, Indian gypsy music, and Anna Nicholson, you'll find me. And eventually what I'll do is put it all on one website and get it all nice and packaged together. I'm getting there. The thing for me right now is to build the library because
That's right.
no reason to have people come to my site and I don't have what they need. So I'm okay being in transition right now, but the goal ultimately is to have it all under one stop. So
Right. Well, good thing, people. We're going to put that on the bottom of the screen, the website where you can find her and every good thing. Now, before we get off, what message would you give to artists, women artists, male artists, to give them some inspiration to keep going?
just follow your heart. Just, you know what? And the biggest thing always is don't let criticism or somebody's comment bring you down. Like I face so much of that. My own kids. Oh my God, my kids. Mom, stop playing that. My first interview with Jerry, I was telling him it's like every time I turned around, somebody was telling me to stop doing that. And don't. It's important to listen to the kids. Yeah, that's great. Then sweep them out, close the door, get rid of them,
Get
and
rid of.
thing. Like this is about you. You've got to live your life and you've got to make sure that you're happy inside and out. Just follow your heart, follow your dream, do it for you. And that way your expectations are a lot lower too and achievable. Just do it for you. And then when the rest comes together, it's going to blow your mind.
Wow, awesome words from Anna Nicholson, and everybody should be inspired by those words. And we are super excited to have you be a part of the Iconix Radio family. So we are going to be spinning Miss Anna and her music, and you're going to be highlighted in our spotlight. So we are extremely excited to have you be a part. But before we go, we got a little game. Are you ready to play a game with
Okay.
Iconix Radio? All right, now it's going to be multiple choice. So you give me your best answer. So
Do I
all
win
right.
anything?
Huh?
Do I, do I win anything?
Yeah, yeah, you're gonna win the game.
Oh, all right. That's good. All right, let's
You're
do
gonna
it.
win the game and be a part of the Hall of Fame of questions. So, all right. Who was the first female artist to be inducted into the Rock and Roll of Hall of Fame? Is it Janis Joplin, Madonna, Aretha Franklin, or Tina Turner?
Oh my God. I don't know. I'm gonna go with Tina Turner.
Is that your final answer?
What could be Aretha Franklin?
Uh, uh,
Could be
okay,
Janis
so
Joplin.
it, you just go through our questions. All right, give me your first answer. Who would it be? The
I would say
women?
Tina. And yeah, I'll say Tina.
Oh, Anna, you had it when you said Aretha Franklin.
I right?
It was Aretha Franklin.
Yes.
All right. So let's go to question number 2.
Okay.
Which artist broke the record for the most Grammy wins by a female artist as of 2023? Do you have Beyonce, Taylor Swift, Adele, or Alicia Keys?
Oh my God. As of 2023, I'd say Beyonce.
Ding, 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 ding. Yes, and I got it right. Okay. All right. Which female rapper was the first to win Best New Artist at the Grammys? Is it Cardi B, Nicki Minaj, Lauryn Hill, or Missy Elliott?
Ooh. Cardi B.
Well, she did win a Grammy, but the first was Lauryn Hill.
Yeah, and you know what? I love Lauryn Hill. I love her, love her. And in fact, there was one album, I can't remember which one it was, but she had this blue dress on and she was kind of sitting down and she had her hair was all just kind of out mid-length, looked like a
Right.
lion mane. And I want to paint that so bad. That photo is iconic to me. So yeah, I'm not surprised. Lauryn Hill rocks.
Right. Okay, so last and final question. You got two out of three. So which artist released the album Lemonade in 2016?
Lemonade.
Yeah, Lemonade in
Okay.
2016. Solange, Beyonce, Janelle Monáe, or Alicia Keys?
I'm gonna say
Lemonade 2016.
2016. Give me the choices again.
Solange,
Yeah.
Beyonce,
Yeah.
Janelle Monáe, Alicia Keys.
Oh my God. I don't know. I would say Beyonce again.
There you go. Ding, ding, ding. All right. Thank you, Anna. You did awesome on your question. See, this is the fun we have here at Iconix Radio.
No, this is
So,
what I discovered that I'm terrible at trivia and I don't remember these things. My thing is, I feel, right? I'm a feeler. It's like, oh yeah, I like that. I love that. But ask me the
right.
questions about it. It's like, I don't know.
Well, you always have to be ready here at Iconics because you don't know what game we are going to throw at you. So we are so excited as this has been a pleasure having you on the show. Before we wrap it up, we said where listeners can find you, and we just want to say thank you for being a part of the Iconics Radio family, and you'll be looking out for Anna's takeover. Thank you for this great interview. Everybody is going to be hand claps that's going to be clapping for you as we go out. So Anna, thank you for this great interview.
Thank you so much for bringing me on here and for helping us out. You're doing a fantastic job, and you're awesome. Thank you for everything.
All right, and we love your background. I'm ready to go to the beach now.
Dude, it's raining outside, so I needed some palm trees.
That's right. So, all right, thank you guys. We have Miss Anna Nicholson. All right, we are going away. Bye-bye for now.
Bye.